Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Saints, Chargers out in LA. They'll play on Sunday. The two squads will practice again on Friday. Walk through Saturday. They'll play their preseason game at SoFi Stadium there in Inglewood on Sunday night, 6:05 p.m. Central Time. Mike Triplett was there, is there. He'll join us later. We'll get you a full recap of the practice. But there were two things in particular, two people in particular that practice that I think for maybe one very obvious reason, one not so obvious, very impactful. That they practice. Kendre Miller and Andrus Peat were both at practice on Thursday and participating. Here was Dennis Allen after practice on the decision to travel the injured guys to LA.
Most of the guys are they're at that point where they're doing field work and things of that nature, and so we felt like bringing them here and being with the team, treatment and stuff here. Still got some extra field space where they can get their field work done. So we felt for those guys that it was appropriate for. We wanted to make sure they were here.
Okay, let me start with Kendre Miller, and then we'll get to Andrus Peat. This one is the obvious one. So we all know the story. Kendre Miller, great running back, TCU, hurt his knee in the bowl game in the college football playoff, didn't get to play in the championship game. As a result of the knee injury, missed all of rookie minicamp OTAs, all the offseason stuff. Shows up, he's going through training camp, he gets hurt in the first preseason game. We're all holding our breath, hoping it's not serious. They tell us it's not serious, and lo and behold, it's not. Because Sunday he was injured, and we're all thinking, man, just make sure he's back in time for the season opener. And here we are 4 days later, and he's on the practice field against the Chargers. So there are photos of Kendre Miller. Now, he has a knee brace on that right knee, but full pads today. That is, first of all, it's a huge relief. And there is no reason at all for Kendre Miller to play in the game against the Chargers on Sunday. Literally no reason whatsoever. He's a third-round pick. You're going to rely a lot on him. He's going to make the team. There's just nothing at all to prove here by playing Kendre Miller on Sunday. So don't even sweat that at all. But Alvin Kamara is going to be gone for the first 3 weeks due to suspension. So the way we were talking is, okay, well, if Kendre Miller, like in the hypothetical, right? If Kendre Miller isn't there for week one as a result of this injury, well, you got Jamal Williams, and then you've got Darrell Williams, who you just signed, and then who? Ellis Merriweather? Like, if Kendre Miller wasn't available, that's what you're literally looking at. Well, with Miller clearly available, now for weeks 1 through 3, you're looking at Jamal Williams, who led the NFL in rushing a year ago. Kendre Miller, who's your rookie third-round pick, who we all think and hope could be the next version of Alvin Kamara for this team. And then Darrell Williams, who, due to injury in his second year, became a starter in Kansas City and has been a good player in the NFL, for that half a decade in KC, and then last year in Arizona when he got his opportunity later in the season to play. So, Darrell Williams is a serviceable NFL running back. So you've got those three guys, and then still the potential of a guy like Ellis Merriweather to make the team and be a fourth guy, special teams, backup emergency guy. So I like that. Would I love to have Alvin Kamara? Of course, but you're not going to have him for 3 weeks. But you can win with this group. Jamal Williams, Kendre Miller, Darrell Williams. I like that group. I like it way better if it's Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, Kendre Miller, then Darrell Williams is your 4. I mean, everybody just is better at that spot. Like, Jamal Williams as your 2 is better than Jamal Williams as your 1, right? Kendre Miller as your 3 is better than Kendre as your 2. Darrell Williams as your 4 is better than Darrell Williams as your 3. So it should go without saying. But, Kendre Miller is the wild card in this group. You drafted him, presumably, to be the next Alvin Kamara. And the limited action we got to see in preseason game number 1 wasn't great. But then again, he was also running behind an offensive line that wasn't great, and got Jameis Winston sacked 3 times. So How would he look with that first unit? That's what I'll be interested to see when that day and time comes. But the really good news is Kendre Miller's out there in full pads 4 days after his injury, where we were wondering, man, is he going to miss time in the season? Flush that. He's going to be good to go. That's great to see. Now, maybe of even more consequence is Andrus Peat returning. So remember, Andrus Peat was injured in late July. So it's been a couple of weeks since Andrus Peat's injury. And he injured his quad. And if you remember, he was, videoed at practice, slowly, kind of gingerly walking off the field with a trainer at that practice when he hurt his quad. And he's been out ever since. And my assumption all along, as I'm sure for many of you has been the same thing, is that Andrus Peat's just going to make the team. He's going to be healthy for the opener. He's going to make the team and be your starting left guard. I don't know so much that I'm there anymore. With Trevor Penning starting at left tackle and James Hurst moving to left guard, that tells you very much that Andrus Peat has to go win this job. Follow me here, okay? Follow me through this. Go in the Wayback Machine to the spring, okay? And we're all looking at the Saints' salary cap situation and all the national narrative. They're in cap hell. How are they going to make? And we're all like, they're going to do what they always do. They're going to restructure deals and this. And when you do that, though, there's always cap casualties. And so you look at, all right, well, who's a potential cap casualty? Well, there were some that looked obvious, that their deals were going to be reworked or they were going to be cut. Will Lutz was one of them. Reworked his deal. Andrus Peat was a very obvious one where you could have looked and said, man, his time here is done. But Andrus Peat agreed to restructure his deal, but it wasn't just a thing where they converted salary to a signing bonus and spread it out. They did that, but he also took a pay cut. He took a pay cut to stay in New Orleans. Oh, by the way, so that tells you to begin with where the organization was. It's like, this is a take it or leave it deal. You either take a pay cut and we restructure this or we're going to cut you. So they restructure his contract to save $9 million. Well, if he's a post-June 1 release, which he would be now, they'd save an additional $1.5 million. So, yes, there is value monetarily to the Saints cutting Andrus Peat at this point. Now, his 2024 cap number is $13.6 million either way. It's $13.6. If he's on the roster, it's $13.6 in dead money. So, essentially, this is your opportunity. If you want to save any more on Andrus Peat, he doesn't make this roster, you save another $1.5 million. But if he's your best option at left guard, you obviously eat the $1.5 million and he's your starting left guard. I'm not saying that. But my point is there is a cap consideration here. But when I look at this offensive line and you go, okay, what are your best five? If Trevor Penning is your starting left tackle, and it appears he is. I mean, he was your starter at left tackle in the preseason game. They want him to win the job. Used a first-round pick on him. We all understand and agree that. If Trevor Penning is your starting left tackle, and you know McCoy's at center, Ruiz is at right guard, and Ramchik's at right tackle, that means you've got Hurst and Peat battling out for the left guard job. Hurst has been more durable than Peat, who's missed time in every season that he's been in the NFL. He's never played a full season in the NFL. And Hurst is also a valuable swing player because he can play tackle or guard. Now, we have seen, in fairness, we have seen Andrus Peat play left tackle as well, which he played at Stanford. And when Teron Armstead was injured, we did see, had a hiccup. We did see Peat go play left tackle, and then they put in, I believe, Throckmorton. Trying to think through the years of other guys we've seen slide in at that left guard spot. Kenny Oselmete was one of the guys, or Senio Kelmete, was one of the guys they used as well as a swing player. My point is, yes, Peat could play left tackle, but Hurst played it last year. And if Hurst is your starting left guard and something were to happen to Trevor Penning, it's easy. You just move him there, and then you have a backup guard, which is likely going to be Nick Saldiveri this year, your fourth-round pick out of Old Dominion. So if you're looking at your first five as, Penning, Hurst, McCoy, Ruiz, Ramchik, Saldiveri is a swing guy, and then maybe Throckmorton, I don't know. But Peat may be one of your seven best. And if he is, he makes the team. And that's fine. Even if he doesn't start, he's a guy with a ton of experience. You like him. But my point is, we had the conversation about the 53-man roster and who's going to make it, who wasn't. My point is only that Andrus Peat all of a sudden isn't a lock, I think, to make the roster. He's got to go not only win the starting job, he has to win a roster spot this year because of his durability, because of his contract situation, because of Hurst being maybe more valuable as an inside-outside swing guy that can play either side of the line, more valuable piece. That's one that I wouldn't have thought it a couple of weeks ago, but I do now, looking at it. And it makes a lot of sense that Andrus Peat has to get back out there because I think he's competing not only just for the starting job, I think he's competing for a job throughout the rest of training camp in this preseason. So we will keep an eye on it. Saints-Chargers will practice again, joint practice on Friday in LA, walk through Saturday, then they'll play Sunday at SoFi. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.